Have you heard about the early ice ages where the whole earth was covered by ice? You might be wondering how our earth came to the stage to become a suitable place to live. Did you know gas in our atmosphere helps to control our temperature? It's the greenhouse effect. Am I talking about an effect done by a green colored house? It's called the greenhouse effect because the way it works is similar to the way in which a greenhouse functions. In a greenhouse, sunlight passes through the transparent roofs and walls and strikes objects inside plants, flower pots, tables, and so on. These objects absorb energy from the sun, become warmer, and then give off energy themselves in the form of heat. Only little of this heat energy passes out through the glasses, much of it is trapped in the greenhouse, raising the temperature inside. In some ways, the Earth functions rather like a greenhouse. Earth is constantly bombarded with enormous amounts of radiation, primarily from the sun. The solar radiation strikes the Earth's atmosphere in the form of visible light, plus UV, infrared, and other types of radiation that are invisible to the human eye. UV radiation has a shorter wavelength and a higher energy level than visible light, while IR has a longer wavelength and a weak energy level. 30% is reflected back and 70% is absorbed by the oceans, the land, and the atmosphere. A similar phenomenon takes place in a car parked outside on a cold, sunny day. Incoming solar radiation warms the car's interior, but outgoing thermal radiation is trapped inside the car's closed windows. The greenhouse effect is a naturally occurring phenomenon that is responsible for trapping heat near the Earth's surface and keeping the planet warm. The big question is, if the greenhouse effect is natural, why are people so worried about it? Is something good turning bad? Up until about 200 years ago, the composition of the Earth's atmosphere had remained relatively unchanged for several thousand years. Since mid-1800s, certain human activities have been changing the heat-trapping ability of the atmosphere dramatically. As a result, more heat is being trapped by the atmosphere. These greenhouse gases include water vapor, CO2, methane, N2O, and other gases. Since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution in the early 1800s, the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gasoline have greatly increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, especially CO2. Deforestation is the second largest source of CO2 to the atmosphere. The greenhouse effect, combined with increasing levels of greenhouse gases and the resulting global warming, is expected to have profound implications according to the near universal consensus of scientists. If global warming continues unchecked, it will cause significant climate change, a rise in sea levels, increasing ocean acidification, extreme weather events, and other severe natural and social impacts, according to NASA, the EPA, and other scientific governmental bodies. Many scientists agree that the damaged Earth's atmosphere and climate is past to the point of no return, or that the damage is near to the point of no return. Mitigate the impacts of climate change by aggressively enacting policies that actually reduce the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere. The Kyoto Protocol is an international treaty which extends the 1992 United Nations Framework on Climate Change (UNFCCC) that commits state parties to reduce greenhouse gas emissions based on the premise that global warming exists and man-made CO2 emissions have caused it.